have a long affection for Kenya. It is a place where I have visited many times. I brought my wife here when I got married. I wanted her to see the country that I have so long admired. But like the rest of the world, I was horrified by the scenes that I saw on my television last year following the election. And so to come today and to meet people who experienced that violence firsthand has been humbling, but to hear their stories of how, amidst times of real fear and challenge, they unclenched their fists and extended the hand of friendship across streets, across communities, across neighbourhoods, has been inspiring. And my sincere hope for my visit here in Kenya is that the level of courage, the level of bravery, and the level of insight that the people I have met in Mathare have brought to the challenge of reconciliation will be matched by the politicians that I meet.
Okay, so has your thinking about Kenya been changed since after today, after the walk you had?
Well, listen, I have known Kenya long enough to know that there are people of extraordinary commitment, talent, and ingenuity in every part of Kenya. So I wasn't surprised to meet people here in Mathare who would grace any political process by their courage and by their principle. It is really, really important that they are able to continue their work. That is why, as a British government, we have been so supportive of those brave people who have been willing to recognise quite how close to the edge Kenya came at the last election and have together resolved to find a way forward. And this work needs to be done in the corridors of power, but it needs also to be done in the streets of our communities. And that's why it is important that the efforts that are being taken forward today by peace committees, not just here in Mtaani but right across Kenya, accelerate, deepen and strengthen the commitment of the population of Kenya to resolve their differences in a peaceful and comradely way.
And do you think there's hope for the reform of Kenya? And what do you think can be done so that we can have that hope?
Anybody who met the people I met today would be hopeful, even in circumstances of great risk and great difficulty. And I recognise that there are very real continuing political challenges that people are facing here in Kenya. And I recognise that the poverty and hardship that people bear in Mathare is very real and is a daily struggle. But I've met people today who have managed to overcome that suffering and that fear and are offering real leadership in their communities. So I am hopeful, but I am conscious also that time is against Kenya. There are elections scheduled for 2012. It is vital that the necessary reforms that the Annan Commission set out are implemented and driven forward in the months ahead, because all of us who have the best interests of the Kenyan people at heart are determined, indeed are desperate, to avoid the scenes of violence that did so much harm and so much damage in a community like Mtaani just over a year ago.
Okay, what's the main problem that Kenyans face? Is it politicians? Is it poverty? What do you think?
I think the elections revealed that the challenges both of poverty and of strengthening the political system are vital and urgent for Kenya. Of course, we have just announced as a British government £5.5 million of food aid to Kenya because we recognise that the reality of drought means that the need for food to stop malnutrition is growing, not diminishing. But equally, we need, and Kenya's people deserve, political leadership that recognises reform is no longer desirable, it is now a necessity for Kenya. Because if we were to see a retreat back into a winner-takes-all politics where violence greets results, then that would be a tragedy, not just for the politicians but for the people of Kenya. And I think the whole international community stand behind the work that Kofi Annan has done and stand behind the steps that he has set out that now need to be taken by the political class and by the political leadership here in Kenya. My hope will be that we see political leadership of the vision, of the quality, of the bravery, of the community leadership that I've seen in Mtaani today.
Okay, one last question. The leaders we currently have were leaders even before most of us were born. Do you think there's hope for youth, the young people, to be leaders? And when would that leadership come for them?
Well, I think what matters in politics is not so much your age as what you believe. And I think politicians who believe that the best interests of the Kenyan people are served by finding peaceful ways to reconcile differences, by recognising that the best interests of the whole country are served by finding ways to resolve these differences peaceably, can be found in every section and every age group. Of course, young people have an immense amount to contribute to politics, not just here in Kenya, but right around the world. We have just had quite a young politician of Kenyan descent elected as the President of the United States. His election heralds a moment of real possibility and optimism, which I hope is an inspiration to people not just in the United States but here in Kenya, that change can come through democratic politics. I think the leadership and the commitment and the passion that I've seen today from some of the young people I've met leave me with a sense of confidence and optimism that there's a bright future for Kenya despite its present difficulties.
Okay, one message for Kenya?
That you have a strong and steadfast friend in the people of the United Kingdom. We stand with you in these times of difficulty. We extend a hand of friendship and support now in providing a new announcement of money today to help provide food. But I ultimately remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi when I met the people I met today. You are the change you've been waiting for. All that Kenya needs is the quality of leadership that I've seen on the streets of Mathare today, and I believe Kenya will transcend its present difficulties and once again be a country that offers a real future for its people and a peaceful future for its people.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Straight kutoka Huruma, tunakuwa tuna launch the Waki Mtaani report leo exclusive kwa Geto Radio peke yake. Exclusive. Nairobi, mnajua representing Secretary of State wa UK only on Geto Radio 89.5.